In this episode of the Tao Dialogues, we'll discuss the teaching of dancing with the wind of change and embracing effortless alignment. Have you ever wondered why change makes us feel so uneasy, even when we know it's right? Do your red light emotions seem to hijack your peace without warning, like out of the blue? Does the thought of the unknown send cold shivers down your spine? If so, take a breath and walk with me into this Tao Dialogue episode, and let's see if we can find the answer to these intriguing questions. And let's create a sacred space of shared reflection. We begin by acknowledging something essential. Life is movement. Life is flow. We live and have always lived in the unknown. Yet so often we resist this natural rhythm, this natural state of being, clinging to the illusion that control is protection and that certainty is safety. And yet we live in a world where we know that we can't have certainty. We may grasp, we may manage, strive, but in doing so, we just move out of alignment, like the donkey chasing the carrot, or a dog chasing its tail. We run round and round in decreasing circles. We move out of our flow. We stop moving forward. We get stuck. And then the red lights increase. Wu Wei wisdom teaches that these moments of tension, those red light feelings of fear, anxiety and frustration, don't look at them as your enemy, something to be avoided. Think about them now with me. Change and think about them as messengers, signs for you to listen to. Perhaps they're calling you inward. Instead of looking outward for validation and approval, perhaps we should look inward and ask ourselves, why have we chosen to create this emotion? It's a very important question. Do you believe that you create these emotions? If you do, it's freeing, because then you can ask yourself, what belief creates the emotion? It could be appropriate. It could be the right belief. But this is the journey. This is when you're in alignment. This is where you're following your golden thread process. And you know, that's just like reverse engineering. I said to bring along that inquiring mind, and this is where you can use it. Gentle, compassionate inquiry. Why have I created the red light feeling of fear, anxiety? What is the thought? What is the belief? You know, there's a wonderful saying that comes from the Tao Te Ching. He who knows that enough is enough will always have enough. Those words come from my upcoming book. And so it makes you just take a moment to think. Perhaps we have been chasing our tail. Perhaps we have been looking outside of us, desperate for control, desperate for somebody to help us, looking for a kind of a fairy godmother, when all of the abundance that we ever sought is within us. Not in having more, but needing less. And here is the wind of change. And this wind of change can be your dance partner, rather than fighting it or seeing it as an adversary. You can take a breath with me now and imagine, actually all of the time, these strong, intense red light feelings oh, a red light shouting at me, look within. I need help. And this is the voice of your inner child, stuck, frightened. And so we often run and we say, how can I fix this? What can I do? Or we do the opposite. Let me ignore it. Let me lock it away. Where we should be saying, what is this teaching me? What do I have to learn here? What is my understanding? And this subtle but powerful pivot is where our spirituality connects on a much deeper, profound level. This doesn't come from external sources. This doesn't come from validation, approval, being liked. This is much deeper. This comes from your Shen, your spirit, your innate worth, that radiant inner truth. And you know, when you think deeper on these levels, you've always coped. You always will cope. You are a coping machine. Look at all the chaos. Look at all the difficulties that you've come through. But you've come through. You are not broken. You are not broken seeking for someone else to repair. You are whole. You are complete. You are one. You are one with your Shen spirituality. This is your gift, your birthright. You were born with innate, inherent worth and value. Somebody can't give it to you or take it away from you. This is who you are. And the beliefs that tell you otherwise, these are the stories. These are the stories and the voice of our inner child, who's lost its way, is confused, yearning for safety, yearning for control and approval, looking for someone else to do what it wants them to do. And I always smile and say, the inner child, like all children, wants what it wants when it wants it. And when it doesn't get it, it throws temper tantrums. But these very beliefs, if we don't look on them, if we don't switch the light on, the beliefs that we thought protected us actually blind us, lead us onto the carousel of despair, looping round and around in those familiar patterns that have never served us. And we ask, well, why do we do it? And the answer is simple. Because they're familiar. The inner child will always choose familiarity. Why? Because it's safer. It's much better than stepping into the unknown. Even if it doesn't work, here is the paradox. So this is a time to pause, not to look at that part of ourselves in disgust or anger or frustration, but to see it as a child, to breathe, to relax with me now. You can do it. As you're listening to this teaching, take a breath. Drop your shoulders and ask yourself, who creates this emotion? How could somebody else put an emotion in my body? My emotions are created by my beliefs, my thoughts, my interpretation, my perception. And from this space of inquiry, this space of thought, this space of connecting to our spirituality, we begin to see that part of our mind, our psyche, that I call the inner child, not in anger, but we see it as a child, stuck, frightened. I often think about the child as though we're walking down the steps into a dark, dank, cold cellar. And in the corner there is this beautiful child. Doesn't know which way to turn, doesn't know who to turn to, has always been let down. And what is it looking for? It's looking for you. It's looking for your truth, looking for your honesty. It's looking for your integrity. It's looking for you to hold out your hand. Clear, no confusion, no distractions. And this is where transformation begins, with truth, honesty, and integrity. I call it the power of 3. And we get so used to telling our lies. We get so used to telling those lies like, I'm not good enough. I can't cope. I'm unlovable. I'm unworthy. We say for so long, they become familiar. We don't question them. We just believe them. And then they create the emotions. And there we are. We're on the carousel. It's time now, just as you listen to this, to take a breath and just step back and become the observer. Can you see this happening in your life in different circumstances with different people? Maybe family, maybe relationships, maybe at work. And this stepping back and taking a breath and being true to yourself. This is the heart of Wu Wei. This is the art of effortless effort. And we live in a world, social media, looking to get better, wanting to prove ourselves, trying to do more, be more. And we're always looking outwards. Isn't it nice just now, with me, on this journey, to look inwards? Because this is where the real power lies. You are amazing. Why do you doubt yourself? Why do you call these storms confusion? Why don't you just flow? Trust yourself. You're not perfect. We only learn by making mistakes. Why can't you live in your rhythm? Stop looking over your shoulders, trying to compare your life to others. You know this is wrong. Every one of us is unique. We are all on our journey. This is time for you to dance to your tune. One of the most wonderful books in Taoism, the I Ching, says, perseverance furthers. Because this isn't a light switch that your life is going to change. You've got to believe in yourself without any doubt. And if you have got doubt, you've got to pause and say, it sounds ridiculous, but say, what part of me is doubting what part of me? Is it your nose doubting your big toe? Is it your finger doubting your ear? Doesn't make sense. You can't doubt yourself. It just puts you onto the carousel. Come back to the truth. Come back to what you know. You may call it your intuition. You may call it your inner knowing. I call it your Shen spirituality, that inner voice. But it's much quieter than the inner child. It has to be tuned into like tuning a radio wave. You have to get used to that voice. And the inner child wanting you to go down the familiar path will throw the temper tantrums. And here's with me now, you can just smile. And once you see it, once you become the observer, you do not have to participate. You can make a different choice. Not in anger, not in frustration, but from love. And here you can learn. Here you can learn that message that you've always known. Somewhere deep in you, I call it the Shen sanctuary, an inner place that's sacred to you. Just as you listen to me now, you may remember a time that you knew that you were aligned. You knew you were in your flow. You knew that even if somebody told you something different, you knew your natural rhythm. Like water, soft, gentle, flowing, unstoppable. This is Wu Wei. The Tao Te Ching reminds us in verse 78, the softest thing in the universe overcomes the hardest. When we're like water does not resist rock. It gently flows around it. Does not fear the fall. It embraces gravity as part of its journey. And every bend in the river is like a life lesson for us. We are not defeated. We are here to learn, to grow, to walk our path. And you see, this is not passive. This is not surrender. This is authenticity. This is your power. This is your strength. But it doesn't come from noise. It doesn't come from shouting. It comes from stillness. From a connection deep inside of you. That when life, as it will, throws its challenges, we're in the unknown. We have always lived in the unknown. So these challenges will be unexpected. And the inner child wants to create emotions because it doesn't know the outcome. We have to remind ourselves. The truth is, we've never known the outcome. But what we do know is we can return to our breath. With me now, we could just drop shoulders. Whatever you're facing in your life right now, it doesn't get better by creating red light feelings. It never gets better by being fearful, angry, upset. What that does do is cut you off from your inner knowing. So which road do you want to walk? The road that leads you onto the carousel, round and around and around. And the problem is still there at the end. Or do you want to breathe and respect yourself, honor your truth, your honesty, and your integrity? Stand up for who you are. And then we do something wonderful for our inner child. We take the inner child by the hand and we say, little one, beloved, you are not alone. We are a team. And you will never face anything by yourself again. Everything we face together. Every decision we make is based on our wisdom, from our understanding, from our Shen spirituality. We do not make decisions based on emotions. We do not criticize. We do not doubt ourselves. We are a team. I understand you now, and I am here. And that's how we learn about our emotions, the voice of our inner child. We create it. It is ours. No one else feels your emotions. You can explain them in the greatest detail, how intense they are, how overwhelming they are. No one knows, because they're yours. Can we flip it over by using the golden thread? And that becomes the bridge that leads us over the emotion and takes us back to the belief that creates them. This belief goes right back, maybe into your childhood. But it can be changed. It's a belief. It's a belief that you created. And if you created it, you can change it. And this is why creating this space, I call it this sacred space, connecting to the Shen sanctuary deep inside of you, takes practice. One step made with truth, and then the next step made with honesty, and then the third step made with integrity. And there you've just done 3 steps. 3 steps that connect you. 3 steps that connect you to your Shen, to your spirituality, to your birthright. 3 steps that walk you away from those old beliefs, those old stories that are outdated. They may have served you in your childhood, but they're not serving you now. You know this. Walk into the unknown, because the unknown is where your creativity lives. This is when you can let go of what you were told, what you must be, what other people think of you. Where you can let go of those beliefs that you must earn your worth, you must earn love, you must earn approval. These are childhood beliefs that lock you into the carousel. Step forward now with me. Feel that lightness in your chest as you breathe. Just one step, and then another, and then another. Truth, honesty, and integrity. Not acting from emotions, but acting from truth. And trust your flow. You are in control. We do not know the future. We cannot be future-proofed, but we do know ourselves, and we do know our Shen, and we do know our spirituality because it's been with us all along. And all we're doing now in this teaching is reconnecting to something you've already got. This is your flow of life. This is who you are. Stand tall. You're not alone, but you're together in a oneness. And this is alignment. This is your rhythm, your breath, your choice. This is your whisper of the truth. And these teachings will carry you forward. It takes practice. You won't always get it right. But that's good. That means you're learning. You're moving away from the old stories. And now, as we said at the beginning, you can dance a new dance. You can listen to different music. You can be you. You can be who you are. But that's who you've always been. No different. So as we come towards the end, I would really encourage you just to take a breath, drop your shoulders, and see if you can listen to that inner voice of truth. I know you've heard it through your life. Can you turn up that volume? This is your path. Can you trust your voice? Can you trust yourself? So thank you very much for sharing this Tao Dialogue teaching. I hope you've really enjoyed it. And please remember to subscribe to the Tao Dialogues on your YouTube or on our free online Substack blog, and continue walking this path with me and with our beautiful community of seekers. Let's see if we can grow together, not in comparison or judgment, but in harmony, in authenticity, in flow. Thank you for sharing your journey with me. I am honored, and I look forward to seeing you on the next exciting edition of the Tao Dialogues. And until we meet again, Yi Dao, Qi Dao.